Oh, smooth stuff. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning online. I hope everyone is so comfortable and ready to have this wonderful communion we do of spiritual awakening. So thanks for saying yes to your spiritual transformation. I'm Reverend Heidi Alfrey, and this is the Sunday celebration service at Unity of Santa Barbara. And we're culminating our Living Prosperity series today, and we are extremely prosperous with two wonderful guests that will be joining us today. The first is our soloist, Jackson Gillies. And let me tell you, of course, you know Jackson. Last time he was here, he packed the house for our concert that you gave. Thank you very much. Yes. I don't know when we've sold so much wine. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, I'm glad that you're with us. Jackson is a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, engineer. He was on American Idol, but more than this, Jackson is a humanitarian. He has HS, which is an extremely painful autoimmune, autoinflammatory skin condition, and you're an advocate, you're a fundraiser. He also really supports people that have HS to understand what's going on with them and where they don't feel alone. So Jackson, we're so grateful to have you here with us. This is Prosperity, y'all.
Thank you.
Yes. And he also has a heck of a voice. Yes, so we're really glad you're here. And then we have my dear friend, Frank Ferrante, and his sweetheart, Jill Trenholm, have come in from Sedona. And Frank was in a film called May I Be Frank, if you all were here Friday night to see that. But Frank is also a man very dedicated to spiritual transformation, and he just keeps letting it happen. He's a movie star, he's an author, and it'll be a lot of fun to have the Sunday talk with Frank Ferrante today. So let's give Frank a hand. Yes. So we're going to take a moment to center ourselves, to really be present. You all make this service happen. We're all here by divine appointment. And Woody, I'll even have a little bit of you underneath this little prayer. Why not? Why not? Music is the heart opener. So let us let go of anything that has any barrier to our sense of ease and well-being. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be peaceful. And it's not like you have to look for it. You have to allow it. So let us breathe in love and breathe out peace. Let us breathe in wisdom and breathe out clarity. Let us breathe in hope and breathe out faith. We are created in the image and the likeness of the divine, and our only job is to recognize that incredible force of life that wakes you up in the morning and that takes you through your entire life. You are the miracle that you're waiting for. So thank you, Spirit, and all is well. And so it is. And so we begin at Unity of Santa Barbara with our mission statement. So let us say this together. Here we go. We inspire, educate, and serve to awaken our oneness with Spirit. Yes, we do. So we're going to have Jackson lead us in our opening song. You all are welcome to stand. It's called My Soul is Welcome Here. Isn't it nice, Frank, to be welcome somewhere? Come on. Okay, here we go.
place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
And yes, it is. Your soul, my soul, is welcome here. Good morning, everyone. Just want to start out reminding all of us that we are here at Unity of Santa Barbara. We are following CDC and Santa Barbara County Health Officer guidelines for masks indoors. And as much as we don't want to do it, we are doing it because we love each other and we want to keep each other safe. So thank you all for showing up with your masks today. And this is a little, it's not going to fall down, right? No, it's all good. Just don't move too much. Oh, dear. Okay, so our candle is lit to remind us of the light in the world, to remind us that we are the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Let's say that together. I am the light of the world. And we do have our chimes. We're going to set a tone here to set a vibration, actually, for the time that we spend together this morning. Okay, our daily word today is let go and let God. And the affirmation is divine love, wisdom, and understanding express through me. If I feel unsure of the next step in any situation, I let go and let God. I don't walk away from difficulty or try to force resolution. Instead, I release my tight mental grip on problems and open myself to solutions. I let go of my ego's desire for control and my need to bring about specific outcomes. I believe there are solutions and remedies beyond what my mind can conceive. I yield to the possibility. I trust the indwelling divine presence just as I would trust a mentor. Letting go and letting God means creating space for the dynamic, creative energy of spirit to inspire and surprise me. Divine love, wisdom, and understanding fuel my thoughts, expressed through my words, and guide me in all ways. And from Scripture, Psalm 86:11, teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to revere your name. I let go and let God. So this is one of the favorite affirmations of people in the 12-step community. And what they tell me and what I know for myself is that this is a really hard one. My ego and collectively our egos, as it says here, our ego's desire is for control. And what are we trying to control? Well, for people who are in recovery, it's addictions to drugs or alcohol or food or whatever it might be. And for the rest of us, most often I think it's wanting to control who? Other people. Yeah, wanting to change other people. How many people in the room have been successful at changing others? No, it doesn't work very well, and we all know that. But it doesn't stop us from wanting to do that. Letting go and letting God means that we first have to have a belief in God, a belief in a higher power, something bigger than ourselves. And I don't have a problem with saying that I believe in God. And so, but that is critically important for this process to happen. The second thing is being willing to surrender what it is that we really can't control. We're trying to control things that we can't control and being willing to surrender that. And that's the hard part right there. For me right now, I'm struggling with this whole idea of people being unvaccinated, both here in the church and in the hospital where I work, going round and round in circles with it and wanting to change people. And the reason is I want to protect other people. I want people to be safe. Oh boy, that I didn't expect that to happen. My heart wants everyone to be safe, and I want everybody to be protected. And I want to change that. And yet I know that I can't. And so reading this affirmation, letting go and letting God, has been really important for me this week, because I realize I can't change anyone. All I can do is release my need to do that, surrender that to God, and then wait. Wait for divine guidance. Wait for love. Wait for wisdom. Wait for understanding. Wait to have the guidance take me to that higher level of consciousness around this issue or any issue. And so my prayer for me and my prayer for all of us is that whatever we might be struggling with today, that you are able to let go and let God, and may it be so. Thank you. And then I'd like to introduce Jackson, who is going to sing an original song called Learning.
Yeah. So this is a song I wrote over a really long period of time. I had to kind of let go and let God with this song. I had the chorus of this song for a really long time, and it just drove me nuts. I had this really cool hook in this idea, and I had no idea what to do with it. And every day for probably 6 months, I would mess with it and try different things around it, and I was banging my head against the wall. And then finally I was like, I'm not giving up, but I'm just letting go of it. And then that night, the second half of the song came together totally naturally. And it's called Learning. strange. I can hear birds outside my window. Pain rolls through my heart, and I can't find the sunrise. It's like this every night. When will I be alright? I've grown a little older. Maybe I've been a little colder to myself, and I think I'm still learning how to love myself, learning how to love myself. I rolled the dice again on a girl who just needs a friend. And every time she says my name, I ask myself why I play this game. It's like this every night. When will I be alright? I've grown a little older. Maybe I've been a little colder to myself, and I think I'm still learning how to love myself, learning how to love myself. Grown a little older. Maybe I've been a little colder to myself, and I think I'm still learning how to love myself, learning how to love myself. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Eventually. Oh my gosh. Learning how to love myself. Well, that's what we do every Sunday. Jackson, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, how holy. It is really, it must be amazing to be a songwriter and go through life and to be able to just have this come through you and be able to sing like that. It's, wow, what a gift. Thank you. So we are in our, like I said, the last Sunday of Living Prosperity. And I think we have discovered that with all of these teachings and all these teachers, we've gone from our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. We talked about Eric Butterworth. We're using the word, maybe you're using it now, instead of healthy. Let's see, health, it's wealthful. I'm wealthful, he would say. Let's just try it. I am wealthful. I'm wealthful. Yes, he was using that term about the fullness of life. Then we looked at Edwin Gaines last week, and then this week we're looking at some of the teachings of Catherine Ponder, who was born in 1927 and was a big prosperity teacher in Unity. And But I'd like to remind us all that these people, the reason they had these teachings is because they had dealt with the feeling of lack and deprivation. They'd gone through periods of their life where they came to realize it's not my divine inheritance to struggle through this life. There's something about me that I don't know that I need to learn and then to affirm it. So I'm going to be combining Catherine Ponder's teaching with a very current teaching, and that is from my friend Frank Ferrante, who is a fellow that, as I said, is really committed to a spiritual transformation. Frank is a movie star, but I'd like to say, rather than a lot of people that show up and audition for a movie, this movie sort of came to him, and people that said, we would like to film you, and he had the big courage to say, yes, let's do this thing. And it would be kind of like someone following you around with a camera as you're having a spiritual awakening and breakthrough, and a lot of it is not pretty. Anybody that came to the film saw that, and I think it reminds us that there's a lot of growth and messiness and awakening that happens as we go through this period of saying, I want change in my life, and then we have to look at all the ways that we have pushed against our own magnificence and our own divinity. So this gentleman, Frank, and I'll just tell you a little bit about the scenario before we start talking, walked into a raw food cafe called Cafe Gratitude. And Cafe Gratitude, if any of you have been, it was in San Francisco, but there's a few around, and they're really committed to well-being, body, mind, spirit. All of the food, of course, is raw or vegan, but basically they are looking at each food item has an affirmation name. Like the I am wholesome vegetable bowl or the I am effervescent kombucha drink. And you have to say the affirmation to get the food. And so the whole world there, you walk in and it's the consciousness, like when you walk in to Unity. The consciousness is about not what you need to do, but what you already have within you. And it's a remarkable place, and it was started by some organic farmers, and they are just remarkable people. And so Frank walks in, not so much about well-being of body, mind, and spirit, but he was such an entertaining character that the three guys that were working there said, would you be willing for us to film you for 42 days? You're going to eat this food, you're going to drink water, you're going to walk, you're going to journal, and you're going to let us be your transformational cheerleaders. And he said, yes. I don't know if he had any idea what was all going to happen to him, but he said yes because he wanted his life to be different. They have a question at Cafe Gratitude of the day. They walk around to your table and ask you a question, and the question was, what would you like to do before you die? And Frank answered, I want to fall in love one more time, but with a body like this, no one will love me because I don't love myself. Where's Jackson with the learning to love myself? All right, so Frank went through this journey. We're going to talk about it now. He not only learned how lovable he is to so many, but he learned to love himself. And here we go with a very lovable round of applause from Unity of Santa Barbara, Frank Ferrante. Yay, you.
Whoops. What did I do?
Oh, I know, microphones and
Starting
masks.
with a flaw.
That's all right. That's right. Welcome. Yay.
Great to see
All right, good to see you. Oh my gosh.
All right.
And I'm so glad Jill's here with us. Thank you, Jill. See, we got to look over and say yes. I know. We got to have pictures of our movie stars that come through here.
I'm not a movie star. But the let go and let God thing, I just want to tell a quick story about that, if I may. May I?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
so
timing you though, because we got a lot of stuff.
This is really a friend of mine came to visit me. I live in Sedona. A friend of mine from LA had just leased a brand new Mercedes sedan, and he decided him and his wife going to take a road trip, and they came through Sedona. And he goes, Frankie, you got to drive this car, man. It's unbelievable. I said, oh, okay, great. I love cars. And so we're driving. He says, this car drives itself. I said, oh, that's nice. I didn't pay any attention to it. He goes, and we're driving. He goes, and I'm driving rather. And he goes, let go of the wheel, man. I said, get out of here. I'm not letting go of the wheel. He goes, I'm serious. The car will drive itself. So I waited till we got a straightaway, because I'm very trusting that way. There's a straightaway, and he goes, take your foot off the gas. I took my foot off the gas. Without doing anything, the car keeps going. And he goes, let go of the wheel. And I said, anyway, so I let go of the wheel. But my hands were right over the wheel like this. And I realized that that's how I manage my spiritual life. You know, I let go of the wheel, but I'm not that far away from it, man. Anyway, so
No.
there we go.
Absolutely.
I broke the ice.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And Russ, thank you for that, heart-connected conversation, because we all know this, your journey through that movie, I think it's so well done because it's everybody's journey. It really is. It's for someone to say, ask questions like, what do you want to do before you die? I think it's such an important question for us to ask ourselves all the time. And then the answer, is, okay, how do I live into that? That's why the prosperity is we're talking about it is the affirmations and things like this, but it's also looking at what it is that has been in the way of your joy all along. So I've got some very profound quotes from Catherine Ponder, and then we're going to talk about your perception of prosperity and things that have changed in your life. We're going to look at what is prosperity, then we're going to look at what we let go, and then forgiveness, and then joy. So this is actually an organized interview.
So obviously I'm going to learn something.
Well, we're learning how to love ourselves. So, all right. So the first thing from Catherine is about prosperity. And she says, the shocking truth about prosperity is that it is shockingly right instead of shockingly wrong for you to be prosperous. Please note that the word rich means having an abundance of good or living a fuller, more satisfying life. Indeed, you are prosperous to the degree that you experience peace, health, happiness, and plenty in your world. There are honorable methods that it can carry you quickly toward that goal. It is easier to accomplish than you think. That, too, is the shocking truth about prosperity. So I wonder, because you lost 110 pounds and all of that, but as we've talked, it's not this outer change. You were also looking, as very funny in the movie, I didn't know this, and I was just going to be so hard, and I'm glad you guys believe in me, because I don't really need to believe in myself going through all this. How do you think your life has changed in the area of, let's see here, of peace and health and happiness and plenty in your world, going from the day you walked into the cafe, really more exhausted and tired more than anything, and then kind of how the life force was reborn?
Well, in 10 words or less.
I know, that's right. And it's been 10 years.
First of all, I had to, as you're talking, I'm trying, how are you going to remember this whole question, man? This is a long question.
Yeah.
But, first of all, I was born in a battlefield, right? My parents came from Europe after World War II, and they brought the war to Brooklyn. And so I had to, in order to understand the question about peace and prosperity and all that, and I grew up in a home that was the effects of World War II, deprivation and oppression and all that stuff, and being born in the middle of that, I had to gain a perspective of what it was like to be out of that. So I didn't really know what peace and joy was. There were intervals where things were okay, but then they collapsed again. So there was never there was never any certainty, something I could rely on. And then I went to Catholic school, which is training ground for atheism. And so, there we have a recovering Catholic back there. Yes. And the harshness of that orientation, right? So where, I was so sure I was going to hell by the time I was 8 years old. I mean, before I had a French kiss, I was already a bad person, And so alchemy, which is the mythology of alchemy, where you would turn base metal into gold. That's really a superficial way of looking at it. What it is taking a situation that was really horrific, and somehow through a transfiguration, never mind a transformation, but an actual transfiguration, taking that situation and turning it into something that not only enables you to blossom, but enables other people, help other people usher themselves out of suffering. That's, to me, what alchemy is. And so in order for me to really even begin to conceive, to understand those concepts, I had to get a glimpse into what they really were, because I really didn't understand it. And the only time I felt those things, prosperous and energetic and whole, was when I was stoned.
Yeah, when you're high, right.
When I was stoned. And I started, when I was 15, I was already getting really loaded, and I thought that sort of I got this lesson about, I figured at one point somebody was going to explain, look, this is how you get through life. You get completely stoned, and it's easy, right? And I thought, well, I somehow prematurely figured this out on my own, right? And so to me, getting stoned, and as was mentioned earlier, getting sober and getting clean and sober wasn't about just letting go of the drugs. That was really the small part of it. Really, I mean, it's significant and it's a crucial component. But for me, I guess I hope I'm not getting too tangential. My recovery, I consider my recovery, the threshold of my recovery was that moment, that absolutely crushing moment, when I had a clear glimpse of how my behavior was affecting people around me, how it hurt people, how it disappointed people, how it crushed opportunities, how it hurt basically how it hurt other people. And it was a really crushing moment. I had no idea, because I was so self-centered. And so there I was at the foot of Everest, which is what it felt like, and I had to clean up this hurricane of a mess that I left behind. What I didn't realize was that somehow the universe would conspire and send me Sherpas along the way. And if you notice, when anybody climbs Everest, right, it's the rich white guy that gets all the press. But the people that were carrying his air, nobody sees them, right? So I had a team of Sherpas that kept this organism breathing.
And this is part of what I also see with prosperity. We're not alone, right? I mean, these three guys, if we're just talking about the film, said, we want to film you. We have a program for you. And you need to sign it. And as you're going through all the things, like I've got to show up, I've got to drink all this water, I've got to eat this food, I've got to really let these guys help me. I've got to believe, as we're talking about a higher power, that these guys who look pretty healthy and pretty happy know something, right? You kept saying, how are you so young and y'all know all this stuff? But they were really your Sherpas, they were, and you had to trust them. But that was what I thought was interesting. During the film, you kept going, I don't want to do this anymore. And they kept saying, but Frank, this is what you want. And this is what I just want to say around our, unity. However it is, when we come in here, we may find, oh my gosh, there's all these really nice people. And then we learn these principles about, kind of putting up a mirror. If something's bothering me, it's because something in me wants to be healed. And it takes maturity to see that. And we kind of got to watched you sort of mature there in that film. And it wasn't pretty at moments.
No, well, it's not. It's maybe it's maturity, but it's also desperation. Desperation is a really good motivator.
Beautiful.
I was desperate, and I think a lot of people are, and because of the social construct, we got to act like we're not.
Right. Very good.
So I spent a lot of energy acting different than what I really felt. And I did that in many aspects of my life.
Yes.
And then, it's really hard to feel good about yourself when you're disingenuous. And so even if somebody liked me, I could never really take it in because they were liking the actor. It wasn't me. And it was really hard. And there's no destination. I've battled with depression all my life, and so it's like, and what's happened is I get I've had glimpses into the divine, enough of a glimpse to keep me going and putting one foot in front of the other as I'm cursing myself, right? It's just like, you're real, and so I'm able to counter sometimes those voices that still remind me that, that those hostile voices that I have in my head, that I think everybody has to a certain degree.
Yeah, Michael.
Unless you're born in the Midwest. Right, and with good skin, and then you're all right, and like you have like less of those voices, only a few. What I like to say is like the difference between me and Jill is when Jill's train pulls in, when my train pulls into the station, I got 2 freight cars of baggage. When Jill's train pulls into the station, she's got a little carry-on, and
so you don't have matching luggage.
And I think that I really believe that one of the significant components that will contribute to the healing of humanity are people that have healed themselves,
or healing, right?
Or healing. Because I really believe, I've worked in rehabs, and one of the insights that I got the last time I worked in a rehab was I believe that everybody has a part of themselves that's completely healthy and sound.
Yep.
And there are all these veils that we put in front of it because of the illusion of separation, the illusion of some kind of wounding, that we're going to protect this part of ourselves. And it's the ironic thing is that the very thing that we're protecting is the way that the mechanisms that we employ to protect this part of ourselves are the very mechanisms that prevent what we want from coming in.
It's true. Okay, so now you lead me. Well, first of all, do you accept people's love today?
I'm better at it.
Okay, good.
I'm better at it.
Well,
I'd like to be Tony Robbins and have everybody get up and throw sprinkles through the air. That's not me, man. I still have my days where I I have a pulse, so I still have days where I'm struggling.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna do this. You thought I was a talker. Anyway, we're one. Yeah. So here's another. I love this because I want you to think
that we are.
Yeah, I've heard we're one. We are one. Yes, it's amazing we can get that many words in a oneness. But so here is another Catherine Ponder. Okay, you're like this one. I now let go. In fact, let's say this together. I love this one. I now let go of worn out things, worn out conditions, worn out relationships. Divine order is now established and maintained in me and in my world. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? What are some of your worn out things that you've let go of, worn out conditions, worn out thoughts, right?
I have to admit that I've never let go of anything because somebody suggested it. Mm-hmm. There were times where things were I literally would have to ask God to relieve me of these things because I did everything I could to quote unquote let it go, and I don't know if I've let go of anything, quite frankly. I've mitigated a lot. I think sometimes there's I suppose there's certain things I've let go of. There's certain things I've sort of resigned myself to.
Well, you certainly let go of some of the eating patterns.
Yeah, definitely. Not last night at the wedding.
Okay,
no,
all right. No. But in general,
I had cake. A venial sin. A misdemeanor, but.
But your world around food as a way to block your feelings.
Yeah, the food was. I think there's a great saying that we shed our addictions in the order in which they'll kill us, and that was certainly my experience. I mean, the first thing I let go of was heroin. And then the next thing I let go of was the coke and the booze, and the next thing I let go of was the cigarettes, and then the whatever I needed, whatever it was I wasn't addressing, somehow manifested in another behavior that was contrary to my well-being. So one by one, all of these things. And I guess what I have left now is really those negative thoughts that still occasionally come in and attack me. I mean, one of the things that surprised me was one of the great minds of our time is a guy named Gabor Mate, a doctor and works in addiction. And they did a documentary on him, and his wife said, he goes around and he does this great work with people, and he's really lively, and he's really engaging with people. They say, but they don't see the guy that comes home and gets depressed. And I thought, wow, that's me, man. I get in a crowd of people, and somehow the juices start flowing, and I really get engaged with people. And then I go to, I somehow, when I get reclusive, not always, but those, and I think the reason I want to mention that, I think it's important because one of the things about the film is, I go through all this stuff, and then at one point I relapse. And I think that's such a crucial thing, because people fall off the horse, and they feel like they failed, and we have this, this sort of notion of like there's this place where you succeed and happily ever after.
Yeah.
Personally, I think 90% of the neurosis in our country is from movies of the 50s. Like happily ever, they rode into the sunset. Really? Did they keep writing? Or the happily ever after. Where is that?
So it's just the ability.
I was never a big fan of Doris Day anyway.
Que sera, sera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, really, where did she go after that song? Yeah, really. Yeah, it's like, that was it for her.
Yeah, for her. I love the... So the idea then, right, is that we have a balance that we're looking at. That there's a Japanese monk that says one of the things he says is that I'm a foolish monk, and then they interviewed him 2 weeks later, and he said, not much progress, right? And so our ability to say we're human, we're not. It's not this. There's not a cookie cutter that says this is who anybody needs to be. But there is, and I know you make good cookies, Jill. But because we're exploring it, and I loved Jackson's song. We're learning to love ourselves, and we put ourselves in environments that are safe to be who we are. So. Just follow along with me here. And so the idea is that you're going to love this quote.
That was such a nice way of saying, shut up, don't say a word.
No, I am from Texas, We're very friendly. All right, now you're going to like this quote, because you had a lot of focus in this 42 days. And this is a quote by Albert Einstein. It's like, if you can drive safely while kissing a girl, you are not giving the kiss the attention it deserves.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think multitasking is a fallacy. I think it's doing a lot of things terribly.
Yeah, well, because you stayed in the game of the 42 days. You did not get off that.
No.
And that program was very different than the life before you signed that contract.
One of the things about that, though, that one of the things that, and I stuck to it.
Yes.
I really did.
Yes, and
it had to do, a lot of it had to do with the sense of community and belonging. There was a study done by Duke University and Arizona State University that came to this conclusion that after the study, that if you live a relatively healthy life to begin with, and you have 3 people that you can confide anything in, that it could conceivably lengthen your life, extend your life by 8 years, which is like a staggering number when you think about it, right? And it's really, that's what it is. It's really connection and community. And one of the things in the 12-step world, the meetings, for example, to me, in my view, is about community. And when you get people of like mind, one of the things that helps the healing is when you finally laugh at yourself. Right? You think, oh my, and you're doing that with people who have done as crazy things or crazier or terrible things as you have. And part of it is, and it doesn't mean that you're emotionally inconsiderate or lack compassion for what you've done. If like hurting people or hurting yourself, but rather the absurdity of life. I mean, come on, man. I mean, life is absurd, and the stuff that I worry about sometimes, I crack up about it, and then the next day I feel remorse about it. But it's the whole thing is comedy is tragedy plus time.
Oh, all right. Tragedy plus time. All
and
right.
usually most comedy has some kind of pain attached to it. High-minded comedy is when I laugh at myself, and then cruel comedies, at the expense of another person. But it really is, when you think about it, like, especially when you get older, not that anybody in this community is can understand older, but because they're such young people.
Yeah, they got a lot of spirit. We all,
but,
yes.
you start thinking about, how absurd some of the things you put so much energy in. My I don't care list is getting longer by the day.
Very good, very good. Well, here's my next quote, as usual. Let's see, it's again Catherine Ponder. She says, if people only knew the healing power of laughter and joy, many of our fine doctors, Dr. Jim, you're excluded, many of our fine doctors would be out of business. Joy is one of nature's greatest medicines. Joy is always healthy. A pleasant state of mind tends to bring abnormal conditions back to normal. Whatever normal is. But
Right.
you bring a lot of lightness, Frank.
Well, thank you.
Yes. They showed you as a little kid, just being silly, right?
Well, that didn't really stop.
Yes, no, I know, right.
It's kinda dopey,
So,
you know.
yes.
But I'd like to mention that one of the things, and along those lines, and this rehab that I did some work in recently, and people were really came from so much suffering. It was mostly homeless people and that were on the street, and it was not a Malibu rehab. And what I saw, I didn't see. It was an interesting insight. At least it was interesting to me that for the first time, it wasn't a group of people trying to get sober and clean. What I saw were hearts yearning to love again, right? It was like, yeah, they needed to get clean. Yes, they needed to get sober. But what I wasn't looking at, for some reason, that's not what was exposed to me. What I saw were these people that were just, they just wanted to love again and had no clue of where to begin, or even that was what they wanted. This is what I saw. But ultimately, that's what we all want, right? To fully participate in the cycle of love, right? And there's all these stories that we've heard or that we've experienced in our lives, and we've created a narrative that, here we are, this is conflict, right? The age-old conflict. This is what we want, but, I want to go swimming, but I'm not sure if the water's right, and it's like, and we stand at the edge spend so much time in our lives standing at the edge of the pool rather than jumping in the water,
Well, you really jumped in the water. I think people coming in a community like this is, I don't know what I want to feel connection.
And it's okay not to know.
Oh, it is, of course.
It's okay.
In fact,
They used to tell me, my father used to tell me, if you don't know what you want to do, by the time you're 18, you might as well kill yourself. He used to say that, right? And I was dreading being 18.
he was a real motivational speaker, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
God bless him. Well, somebody said that to him. It's just, but we really, so many veils were taken off, right?
Well, and it took what it took. Some people don't live through this stuff,
Yes,
I mean, some people die at 20. They don't bury them until they're 70, And so there's a lot worse things than dying, and you really learn that as an addict. There's worse things in the world than dying, and so. It's really, when I turned 70 last month, and that blows my mind.
Wow.
I feel like my mother lied. I wasn't really born in 1951, And, when Truman was president, for God's sake, you believe, man. And so, I think, man, that's a lot of time. And the idea, and, standing here, it's a miracle.
Right.
It really is, and it's just not to be. People use that word gratuitously. It's a miracle. 200,000 cigarettes. Tons of heroin. 2 mental hospitals, jails. 2 near-death experiences, a coma. Crazy behavior. Just and somehow. I was born in the battlefield, and then I created my own, and then worked my way out of it. And I'm still working on truce.
Yes. And the other thing you do, Frank, just as we're closing soon, is that you give back so much. When I call, you're always on some kind of Zoom call with some group from somewhere, and you're in a jail, you're in a rehab. I mean, not that you're.
I'm at my happiest when I'm not thinking about myself.
Right. Well, because this is the next part of life. Is Bill Dutton is our poster child. Is the whole idea of service. Of just really, you can't keep it till you give it away.
Well,
so.
and it's not, service. They make it sound like, like people like to, sometimes people. This is funny to me. People in AA, right? Somebody will ask you to, in a way. For those of you who may not know, a lot of meetings where they pick somebody to speak for 15 minutes or so, and then they open up the meeting. And I always crack up when people come up to the podium and say, "Well, somebody just asked me to speak," and when AA calls, I always respond. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? You're going to spend 15 minutes talking about yourself, and even if you're terrible, a whole room is going to see how great you are. But they make it sound like, oh, I just came up because somebody, service is, what service, like it really, when it's truly practiced, it's a two-way street.
Sure.
It's a selfish thing to do, and selfish in the sense of, so a positive thing. Like if I exercise, I'm taking that time, I'm being selfish, but that's so I can show up, right? And so really, when people try to promote themselves as somehow, I'm being of service. Well, if you're really doing it in the spirit of true service, then you're having a good time.
Absolutely.
It's not like you're having a good time.
Yes, we have a lot of unsung heroes around here. People. All right, it's fine. And the idea is that the bottom line of all of this is love. All right. So I got one more from Ponder, and she says, "Whatever your problem, it is but a test in love. If you meet that test through love, your problem will be solved. If you do not meet that test through love," I love this, "your problem will continue until you do." Your problem is your initiation in love. And I love that the thing you said was, I want to fall in love again. And I would say that you have become more of the love that you are. Right? And did not even, and again, if we don't have, your brother said something in the movie that I always, one of my favorite, he says, we didn't have any good guides. He said we didn't have anyone that celebrated us. Nobody celebrated them. But the point is, that's why we come together in community. That's why we have these talks, because everyone needs to remember who they are and needs to have that experience of just feeling the value of being alive. And
Yeah. But we didn't, and neither did they. And one of the things that really contributed to a lot of neurosis was that we were expected to know stuff that nobody taught us. I was expected to know stuff that nobody taught me, and if I brought it up, I was ridiculed because they didn't know, and they didn't want to look like they didn't know, so they would ridicule me. But it was just the way it was. It was just this. The people that were around us were also wounded because really everybody around me had just gone through the war, and they just had gone through the war, and we didn't have any understanding of, when we talk about deprivation, we talk about not making enough something or another to get what we think we should have. These people were didn't eat for 4 days and didn't know if they were gonna, and not to mention they had these the Germans running around and doing what they were doing, and so the way I described them is just invertebrates masquerading as mammals, really invoking a serious cruelty that none of us could understand. One of the things that makes me absolutely crazy is people associating COVID with what happened in Europe in World War II. That's to me. It's not only is it ignorant, it's a subtle form of anti-Semitism as far as I'm concerned. So, people really, history is news to most people. you know. And
Well, so yes. So we're all having some initiations in love.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Which wasn't what I just expressed.
I know,
but
I know.
I recognize that.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's fine. I might have to bring up one of my other little quotes then from is about resentment that we can keep letting go of, right? When you hold resentment, I love this. When you hold resentment toward another, you are bound to that person or conditioned by an emotional link that is stronger than steel. Oh, forgiveness is the only way to dissolve that link and get free. So, so our deal is, that we are, life is a big mirror. And a lot of it, sometimes it's very painful to see it. You know, it takes me a while. Sometimes when I really am looking at something that I didn't want to look at, I'll start crying. I'll be, because I'm mad at myself in addition to wanting to act differently or behave differently. But I realize that's where the healing is something new is being born in me. And I tell you, the film is phenomenal. And you've had 10 years of really being of service. It's changed. I mean, your life is like a ministry today, for heaven's sakes.
Well, I would also add to that, the forgiveness piece, that I think that there's a realm beyond forgiveness. And what I mean by that is, my father, I was very angry at my father. I was a very violent guy and scary. And I behaved in response to that. My behavior was terrible, and I used to use the excuse of my childhood experience as an excuse for bad behavior. In any case, at one point, being the firstborn in an Italian family is a rather auspicious position. Anyway, there was one day, my father had already died, and I was living in New York, and I went to a phone booth, and I put a quarter in, and I started dialing his number, and I realized he had been dead for 6 months, but I automatically dialed, and something happened to me on that street corner in Manhattan, where I thought, what happened to my father to make it okay for him to be so cruel to me? And then at that moment, I stopped thinking about what was done to me and started thinking, what happened to him that in his mind, justified that behavior? And I had a therapist at the time, and I explained that situation to him, and he said, you know what that is? And I said, no, what? He said, that's compassion. I didn't even know what it was. And it was through an experience that I was able to take in the significance of what that really is. And I stopped being mad at him. So that's not forgiveness. That's like recognizing, and it doesn't condone what he did. Right? That's not saying what he did was right, but that's not even a consideration at that point. It's like, wow, man, what happened to you that you made that? That's all right, And so that's, to me, that's transcends forgiveness.
It transcends it, yes.
That's beyond, because forgiveness still has, to me, a little bit of a egotistical connotation to it. It's like, what I mean? Like I give you papal dispensation, right? And it's not.
Well, yes. Well, thank you for the story of compassion, though, Frank. It's in fact, that's really what our workshop this afternoon is going to be about: is radical compassion. And what you just said and what you just experienced, really, that energy blesses us all, because it is being able to understand, not that he condoned what he did, right. He just couldn't not do it because of his own training.
He didn't know any other way.
He didn't.
He didn't have the language, the permission, the understanding. He was still so wounded from his own experiences in Europe. He was born in 1911 in poverty in Sicily. Sicily was basically brought into the 20th century by World War II. And his parents died when he was young. He was passed off to whoever could afford to take care of him at any given time. And so it's like that Elton John song. You know, I have a freedom my father never could possibly understand.
And honey, thank you. You know, we've got a
Break the
little time
commercial?
limit thing here. Yes. But so Frank, thank you for your heart. Thanks for sharing your heart. It's so precious. Let's give you a hand. Yes. You looks like it okay. And we're going to close with the affirmations from the movie.
Oh,
they're
God.
so nice, and I wrote them down, and they're up here. So I just invite you to put your hand on your heart, kind of notice what you're feeling as we've been having the conversations about prosperity and compassion and love and forgiveness and just holding that. Where are you feeling that in your body? Because your experience is how you are working with all of these wonderful, wonderful truth principles. So we can open our eyes and just follow this wonderful affirmation. It's I blank do love me. So let's start there. Wow. I, Heidi, do love me. My body's vigor and harmony. Okay, y'all can all see it. I am perfect health, radiant beauty, and divine energy. I now hold in my mind a new image of myself as a thriving, flourishing, and gloriously beautiful person. Yes, look at you sweet little boy, you. I can see that little face. Anyway, Frank, bless you. Thank you. We're gonna do our little bit of meditation. You can stay up here if you'd like.
No, it's okay.
Okay, all right. So we'll give him another hand.
They've had enough.
That's right.
Thank you, sweetie.
Okay, honey. Oh, you're the best. Thank you. So sweet. All right. Wow. Conversations of the heart. So let's just close our eyes for a moment. We're going to actually sing together, I Am So Blessed, just a couple times through as we recognize the blessing that we are, the blessing that Frank brings us and ignites within us. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Say it again. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So we allow ourselves to relax and receive, to allow the chair in which you're sitting to completely support you. You can feel your body in that chair and feel the gratitude of being supported. And you can use it as a metaphor, being supported by life. Allow your body to relax into this moment. You don't have to go anywhere or do anything. This is a time for you to be completely aware of your beingness. I am divine health. I am radiant beauty. I am unlimited energy. I now hold in my mind a new image of myself as a thriving, flourishing, and glorious, beautiful person. So I invite you to fill your mind and your heart with a scene or a person or yourself and to feel that sense of something you love, something for which you're grateful, and let the energy of that gratitude and love fill your body. White light, energy, whatever you see it as or whatever you call it. And let it fill your body and then radiate out into the world. And let us sit with the energy, our divine purpose, our ability to source that is within and the light that we are in the silence. Be still and know that I am God. The I am that is within the essence of your spirituality. We drop into and we live in the one power and the one presence that is alive and well in each and every one of us. And as we live from that place, and see our oneness and see our support and see our guidance, we live our peace song, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Huge for you, Reverend Heidi, for bringing Frank and that wonderful movie and having such a really rich conversation today. Thank you so much. I needed to hear it, and I'm sure the rest of us really benefited by that. So this is one of my favorite parts of our service is a celebration. This is a celebration time for all of the blessings and all of the abundance in our lives, in all areas of our lives, whether it be our relationships, our finances, our health, our spiritual life. We have gratitude for all of that. And I'd like for you to just take a moment and think of a way that you have been blessed through this ministry. Think of a way that you might have been inspired. Think of a way that you may have learned something in a class or one of the lessons on a Sunday morning that helped you through a hard time. Think of the relationships that you have formed here at Unity. And think of the ways that you have been of service to others here and had that opportunity. Just really kind of hold on to those blessings and feel that gratitude. And it's from that place that we give. So there are a number of ways that you can give to Unity of Santa Barbara. I don't have these written down, so Penny, if you can just kind of go through them on the board there, I can kind of cue off that. So if you're online and you're on our website, you can find the donate button there. You can also find it on YouTube. We have also our wonderful Giveify app, and she wants me to read it. If you don't know about the Giveify app, or if you don't know how to use it, we can certainly help you explain that. It's really, really, really easy, and it's a wonderful way to give. And you can set it up for recurring giving. We also have an abundance table out there, and we can help you there. You can pay. You can give with cash. You can give with checks, and you can give with a credit card, and we can help you with credit cards also. So whatever way you want to give, I want you to take that opportunity of giving and hold it in your heart and bless it with these words: divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. Peace is my source for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need.
And we're back to the music. No, that's not in tune. I think next up we're gonna do a Kenny Loggins song called "Conviction of the Heart." You had a lot of hearts in your talk, Heidi. I saw you foreshadowing. I heard your foreshadowing. "Conviction of the Heart." This is I've heard Kenny speak about the meaning of this song, and it's changed over the years. And it went from, I believe it started as sort of an outer thing, looking at the world and looking at, the environment and the climate, and it's a sort of anthemic thing talking about that. But then he realized over the years that it was a lot more internal and a lot more sort of a reflection and talking about himself. There we go.
Where are the dreams that we once had? This is the time to bring them back. What were the promises? Caught on the tips of our tongues. Do we forget or forgive? There's a whole other life just waiting to be lived. One day we're brave enough to talk with conviction of the heart. Down your streets I walked alone, as if my feet were not my own. Such is the path I chose. Doors I have opened and closed. I'm tired of living this life, fooling myself, believing we're right. I've never given love with any conviction of the heart, with the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe we'll survive if we only try. How long must we all wait to change this world bound in change that we live in? To know what it is to forgive and be forgiven. Too many years of taking now. Isn't it time to stop somehow? Air that's too angry to breathe, water our children can drink. You've heard it hundreds of times. You say you're aware, believe and you care. Do you care enough? Where's your conviction of the heart? One with the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe it will start with conviction of the heart, with the earth, with the sky, one with everything in life. I believe it will start with conviction of the one earth, one sky, only one world, only one chance for one life. When will we live? Only one earth, only one sky, only one life. We've only got one chance to live in one life. I believe it's only gonna start when we begin with some conviction of the heart.
Thank you.
Jackson, wow. What a gift, what a gift. And Randy and Renee and Woody, oh my gosh, what a team. What a team, what a team. So, Jackson, will you come back and do another concert sometime, please? Okay, good. Because it was, oh my gosh, there's just, I don't know what it is. You just bust the heart open. It's so amazing. All right, so a couple of announcements here. Anybody here for the first time? I know Jill's here for the first time. We've got a sunflower. Oh yes, Linda's here. She's actually a Unity lady from Reading, CSL. Yes. Anyway, welcome, Linda. Yes, welcome. And then Jill's up here. If you have another sunflower, we'll bring one up to Jill, and here they come. So, all right, if you're new, we'd love to get you on our e-blast list. And if you're not on our e-blast, please sign up, because that's where you get all the info. And then if you want to tune out to what I'm saying during the announcements, you can. Because I always feel like Charlie Brown's parents up here. All right. Frank is staying. We're having a play shop this afternoon called Getting Real, but the process we're going to use is radical compassion. And so I invite you to come. We will be in the chapel. It's $35, and your spiritual awareness is It's certainly worth that. Frank also has written a book called May I Be Frank, and you can find that on Amazon, and his website is mayibefrankferrante.com. So come and join us afterward. Jill, his sweetheart, is a talented musician and some sculptor and baker and many, many other things. And so Jill will be having some music. We're going to have a bring your own lunch, so you can go out and get something and come back if you brought your own lunch. But it'll start at 1. And that'll be in the chapel. You can get your ticket right out here. Just to let you know, mark your calendar. We're going to have Spooky Bingo again on Halloween afternoon, Sunday afternoon at 4:30. You can get your bingo cards starting next week. And we're going to have a picnic. We're going to have a picnic at a park in the middle of November. Yes, that's right. I know. We're just going to get together outside, for heaven's sake. So it'll be, I just think that's a Sunday, November 14th. Okay, we're going to have an open house here this Tuesday, which is the 28th, and we've invited event coordinators and wedding coordinators to see our gorgeous property. And y'all look outside in the back. Some things have been started, and they're going to finish them tomorrow. But if you want to come help, kind of do a tour of the property, and you'd like to show up at 4:15 on Tuesday, come. Peggy's got a list out there, and we'd love for you to come and just show off our beautiful property to coordinators, things like this. All right, so we have a prayer ministry that is a wonderful group of people, our prayer team, and you're welcome to call the number here and or email, and they will take your prayer into prayer for 30 days and send it on to Unity Village. I want to thank everyone that has been in service here. Thank you so much to our volunteers. Let's give them a big hand. Our ushers, people put together that beautiful table out there. We want to thank Bill and Bonnie Dutton, who have been housing Frank and Jill. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you so much. And thanks so much, Jackson, for being here. Such a gift. And Frank is out doing something, but all right. So let us all, is there anything else that somebody needs to say? Okay, burning desire, as they say. So we're going to all stand and sing our peace song. In fact, Russ is going to lead us. And let us just live that, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that power. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for coming today.